I wonder if something about the current movement on that lower slope washes away more of this really fine grain mud, leaving the heavier grained. Or if it's just more of it settles up here because it's just totally flat.
Okay, we can call it the end of transect there.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Now we can look around and find a flatfish to zoom in on.
Or a sea pen.
Or a sea pen, yeah, actually.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder.
I'll still keep the ship at 045 and I'll stop whenever we see anything that we want to show.
Okay. Sounds good. There's one.
Bridge snap. Let's hold position. Thank you.
So Tom said he had to go do a call. So we're going to have to do this, you and me, Meredith, unless some other fish expert wants to join in. Erica's there. Erica, help us out, please. I think Erica's there. Science chat calling Erica Burton. There she is. And Jennifer Brown is on too. She's also a flatfish expert. So please help us out here.
How's doing there?
So this looks like it's I have to look and see where the mouth is and where the okay.
Looks like the mouth is on the side towards us.
Yeah, so it's a right-eyed fish. And Erica's saying it might be a slender sole. Thank you, Erica. And it is a slender fish compared to if you saw the fish that we saw earlier at the beginning of the dive that was petrale, and the petrales are more shaped like a diamond, and this one is more slender.
Yeah, this does look like a slender sole.
And right-eyed.
In the book I'm looking at, and it's definitely right-eyed.
So see, Taylor, their mouths all sort of go downward, so they all look grumpy.
It's cute.
Yeah.
It's really fun to, if you do like light traps for ichthyoplankton, you'll get some of the flatfish before they've settled up in the water column, and their eyes haven't migrated yet, but I always find it fun that their body shape is almost usually just what it's going to be where they're on the bottom. So they're still quite round in shape with the big, long dorsal and lower fin, but just
Yeah,
with eyes on both sides of the head.
yeah. And if you can bring them into the lab and rear them, you can watch the metamorphosis where the eye migrates. It's pretty fascinating.
Do they swim differently before their eye migrates?
Yep, they'll swim just like a normal fish up in the water column.
We see some gastropods. That is not a hermit crab, the one that's moving towards the tail.
It's that snail's just cooking along pretty fast.
Yeah. Did you see the eyes of the? It's looking down like, no, you get away.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch my tail. Yeah, I'm sensitive.
Danielle says it's another mud snail, Nassarius or Nassarius snail.
Change
Added an
direction.
extra S there.
See how the sole sort of disturbed the sediments to hide? It's like underneath the sediment, and they're ambush predators. They can hide in the sediment, and then as they're looking up and their unsuspecting prey is just swimming around, and they can rise up and capture them.
What is their typical prey? Does it vary by the species or?
Well, it does vary by species some. I think it's a lot of small invertebrates. They'll also eat worms.
It's hard to not sort of anthropomorphize what's going on here, that soul is looking at this gastropod, just waiting. I'm going to get you.
And the Nassarius snails are scavengers, so they eat, whatever dead thing they can find. Possibly what it's doing right here with that, what looks like a worm that's sitting on top of this sole. I'm just waiting for the sole to flap again and just launch the snail.
Yeah, yeah. This soul is being incredibly tolerant.
It might be convinced it's invisible now that it's kicked a little mud over itself.
Yeah.
Like a little blanket of sediment. All tucked in.
Shall we go hunt up a sea pen?
Sure.
I could watch snail TV all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Oh, look, here comes his buddy.
Yeah. Oh, you really can't see it now. You wouldn't really be able to see there's a soul there if we were flying by. Not a soul in sight.
How long did you wait to say that?
That's something I've been thinking about for a bit.
Perfectly timed.
We really need a soundboard in here.
Yeah.
I know.
Wah, wah.
I want to figure that out.
Are both the verticals enabled? It's ridiculous. Right?
Yeah. Is it flying weird?
Super light. We're so shallow that must have a giant air bubble somewhere.
Does the foam vary in buoyancy at all at different depths?
Yeah, it seems like, well, once you pass 300 or 500, it acts similar all the way down to 2000-ish, and then after that, it's anything less than 300, it's not really, I don't think it's compressing all the air that gets trapped in places.
There's some ends of some kind down below.
And for the white twig sticking out of the sediment.
Sorry, I'm just trying to play with the trim. I have twice as much as we usually have with this same configuration.
Could it be the slurp jars? I know sometimes if they're not filled all the way. Can't they-
Maybe. I've had both the boxes open, right? You wouldn't be able to see because
Yeah,
they would fill by now, but
they would.
I don't think the ROV's really wet yet. Doesn't have a good squeeze. Maybe I know what I'm doing wrong. Sorry, that's my bad. I'm going the wrong way on that.
Oh. Yeah, that's it.
So there's something that's not right. Doesn't seem right. It's probably not right. Should be a minus sign there. Yeah, that's better. Duh. So just ignore everything I said in the last 5 minutes.
What did you just say?
Nothing. It's mussing.
I could start stepping a bit.
Yep.
Bridge nav. Step 100 meters, 045, speed 0.3. Thank you.
It's like just that dark object just to the right there, upper right-hand corner. I think that's the shadow of a sea pen there on the seafloor. Maybe.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, just almost in the center, top of the screen.
Yeah, sorry, still playing on the trims. So then I can believe 5% more than usual. 3 to 5%, somewhere in there. Okay, Steve.
Argus will fly over you, but I'll stop it if we're
Right.
still here.
think this is Stylatula, which is a pen we find in these shallower depths. Tends to be this white color. And you can see, hard to see on the pen itself, just with the light conditions, but in its shadow, you can see that the shadow of each of its little polyp leaves.
Should be able to polyp zoom there.
Full zoom.
Really?
But look at the
Light years
shadow. You
away.
can see how the light is that there's spaces between the polyps.
Yep. So each of those is actually a leaf that will have like 10 to 15 or more little individual polyps along each little leaf frond.
Oh.
Zoom out for a second, Steve. I'll get closer, guys. Let's zoom right out. That's the problem. 2-3 meters away. And we're flat. Okay, try that again. The camera's in, that's also.
Porch light on?
Yep, you can turn the porch light on.
Eric's heartbeat.
This is one of the species that'll run away if you touch it. Retract down into the sediment.
I'm glad you clarified what you meant with run away.
Is that a,
I thought, oh,
Like
does it
pogo
really
stick?
pop out and start swimming?
I mean, slip away.
Yeah, no, they use their peduncle and they can actually very quickly deflate and pull down into the sediment.
Well, and I wasn't, trying to be flippant because we've seen a lot of these animals do things that you wouldn't expect, like some of the sea cucumbers. They just sort of start flipping around and
Yep.
moving very quickly. So I thought, oh, that might have been some special movement for sea pens, but they retract. Okay.
Yeah,
Very
these
nice.
ones, what's surprising about it is
Close
it can
up.
be very, very fast. Like we tried to sample a couple different species like this, and the jaws will be closing and it's just suddenly gone. You've got enough detail here, you can just barely see. If you look right along that white axis, you'll see kind of little bright white pin-looking spines, and those are actually spines in this species. The defining characteristic under a microscope is each of these leaves is encased at the base by this kind of hand-shaped crown of spines that points upward, which makes them a real pain to handle in the lab because they're they're like a little crown of needles.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you want to hold here or keep moving?
We can keep moving.
I just had the ship moving, so could stop it or not.
So that was a Penatula
just
sea
started to
pen?
get tugged.
This one is Stylatula.
Oh, Stylatula.
Yeah, which I've just spelled in the science chat.
Thank you.
Want me to stop him?
Getting tugged. Sorry guys, gonna disrupt the visibility for a minute while we back up and get some. I thought you had stopped, sorry.
See our footprint there.
Bring your auto heading off there.
Roger.
Tom has rejoined us in the science chat and says that the flatfish we were
Got
looking
stopped
at was
ship.
indeed a
Bridge
slender
nav.
sole.
Sorry, Rennie, I thought we stopped.
No worries. Hold position. Keep it at 0.3 or 0.2. That way we can, once we're out ahead, we'll have some time to stop and look at stuff.
This shallow, we're just gonna,
Yeah, we can just stop and go.
yeah. Come down a couple meters, Jake.
Coming down.
What else are we on the hunt for down here?
So watching for urchins and kelp. And then just
can,
exploring as
lock
we
in your head there.
move along.
But we think we might hit those formations, correct? Along the way?
Yeah, so
Sorry, which formation?
If you look at the dive plan, I
Yeah,
think
all
it's
that
at
stuff.
CC, or are we past CC
Yeah.
and we're going to CD?
yeah.
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 Yep. We're on the way to CC, and that's where there's some bumpy stuff. I was looking at it last night, so we have data from just north of this, and all of this bumpy stuff here. Really cool kind of swirling patterns geologically, and who knows what caused all those folds. But unfortunately, I don't have the backscatter for whoever mapped this bit, but the ones that we do have from our system it's really spectacular backscatter imagery. Just beautiful.
Oh, so later in the dive might be very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get there, but
Did
maybe.
I tug you there? Or is that just, I
No,
couldn't tell.
I could, going uphill a little bit now.
But there, it seems like there's a swirl as we're going towards, just to the northwest. Is that what you're talking about with the swirls?
No, it's in backscatter imagery, which I don't have for this.
I'm gonna look at if the dive plan does.
I don't believe it does. So I'm not sure if where this data came from. Shallow stuff. Bridge nav.
Mary's pointing out that we're also eventually looking for
100
cup
meters,
corals once we.
045, speed 0.3.
Once we find some hard bottom. And Lizzie says that once we're hoping to hit that more interesting terrain once we hit CC.
Yeah. I'll show you what I was talking about momentarily. What is happening there? All right, if you look at the HYPACK screen, this is just an image that I have of the backscatter that's just north of this location, still on San Miguel, and you can see some of the swirling patterns that.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
And the bathymetry in that area also it kind of mimics this. So part of it is that we're so shallow here, so mapping it, obviously you have a higher resolution of your backscatter, but another part of it is just the unique geological happenings here in this area.
And is the white or the lighter or the darker harder? In
The
this
lighter
image?
is a stronger reflectance,
Copy that.
stronger return. So yeah, that's just north of here. So this section that we're on right now is just south of down here. So pretty cool stuff.
Some great resolution on that.
Yeah, this was 2.5 meters.
Yeah, so Lizzie, who created or designed this transect, she chose it because of the swirly twirly.
Yeah.
And, you know, she doesn't know what we'll see, but fingers are crossed that it'll be interesting. And in many ways, when we visually survey these mapped areas, we are trying to ground truth what the mapping interpretation really is. You know, is it, as somebody just asked, is that hard or soft? And based on the reflectance, we think it'll be a hard substrate, but we need to ground truth that because maybe the hard substrate is covered by some mud.
Yeah, which we often find because there's just the sedimentation rates in different areas. And
right.
It's just enough.
So if you want, we can move more quickly to CC.
Sure.
Thank you.
Bridge nav.
So Lizzie is
Increase speed to 0.5. Thank you.
Yeah, Lizzie's participating via the science chat, and she just said, we can go faster if you want. So we'll go faster.
Another Stylacula sea pen. The really deep stuff we've seen in the last couple days has been really cool, but it is in some ways nice to be back into an area where when the ship moves, the vehicles start moving almost immediately.
Yes, I agree.
Making it easier to
it is
stop
very
and look at things.
Yes.
You guys are crazy. I'll take the deep water any day.
So expand on that, please.
I could, it's like bathtub depth.
I'll take the shallow water navigation in deep water terrain, but
We have good nav. The Argus moves when the ship moves.
Yeah.
So boring.
Oh, you like the challenging stuff.
Yes.
You've just been doing this for a long time. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it a while.
I've noticed you don't often give very specific answers. It's sort of
Surrounded in a-
kinda, maybe.
surrounded in a shroud of mystery.
Yes.
It's better than the politicians.
I would describe you as cagey.
It's beat into us, the commercial world. Never give a definite answer. The bottom appears to be muddy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to pin you down on it, but I'm going to say, well, Dan said.
To specifically answer your question, my first trip offshore was 1994.
Nice.
A lot of experience then, yeah. But that's good. We want that.
And I've been, gave up my day job and started contracting in 2003.
And haven't looked back.
Once in a while. Took an office job for, done a couple projects that are a year or two long projects. Wind up taking those offshore and then getting back into the offshore game.
And Jake, how long have you been doing this?
You're on mute.
I was on mute, sorry. About a year, so
Wow. So we have the spectrum here.
yes,
Yes, and
I'm a newbie.
that's why sometimes you get to drive the Herc with your
Yeah.
training in.
Yeah, how come you're not driving now?
Waiting for the offer.
Yeah,
Yeah. You opened the door there.
sorry, yeah, I'm out.
So are they really switching? Can
Yeah,
somebody
they're switching.
Oh, cool. That's very nice of you, Dan. I'm sure Jake would love the time in the Herc chair. There we are, where somebody turned on the, is that you, Steve, who does that?
That's me. Yep.
Yeah,
It's the overhead.
Overhead one. Which one's that?
right.
That one up
That
there?
That
So
little
I
lipstick camera
imagine,
up there.
See what,
yeah, so I imagine the
see
one
what's playing
without
on
the
the-
hat is Jake, and the one with the hat is
yeah, I
Dan.
need the hat to cover my bald spot there.
Yeah.
And then who is sitting to the right?
That's me. Rennie.
Hi, Rennie.
Hello.
Yeah, so folks, Steve, who's doing video, switch the cam so that we can see what is happening in the control van. And somebody else is waving. That's Steve.
That
I
was
think
me
his
coming in
hand
from
just,
the side.
So you
Yep.
can see your,
yeah,
your track
yeah.
versus Argus's track. So come over
Yeah.
left a bit.
Yep.
As you.
There's a little bit of
So I
stick lock. I didn't realize.
yeah.
So I was,
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I should have told you, stick lock was on. My bad.
that's all right. I noticed that after.
Oh, and Steve now switched. Steve, why don't you narrate what you're doing rather than me narrating?
All right, well, I just switched to camera 4, which is in the back left of the van here. So you can see me waving my hand, if that gives you a point of reference. And then the front row, as we just went through, and you can barely make out Taylor Ann in the shadows back there in the back row. There she is, yep.
All
Doesn't-
by yourself back.
Doesn't that camera work, Steve?
Not lonely at all.
Yeah, that one works. Let's see. If you want to,
Arm might be in the way.
there's everyone's beautiful faces.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, that
Oh,
one.
yeah,
Yep.
the front row.
Oh, there's an. Oh my gosh.
There's
So
too
many
many cameras.
There are too many cameras in here.
Good thing I have a mask
So
on.
folks, yeah, so folks who are tuning
Kinda
in,
hiding.
this is what it takes to bring this all to you. All these folks are bringing this imagery to you from their control van.
And this camera here, this is the view from the studio where we do ship-to-shore interactions. So somebody can sit in there. It's actually a closed-off separate room. And they have a big window that looks into the van. So
The fishbowl.
there's no audio spillover, but
045 ready?
they can get
045.
a view of what's going on.
So
Is
it's
that
not
where we
buried in
would
the
have
bowels
been?
of the ships anywhere?
Yeah.
No, that is
It-
just directly behind us. Yeah.
So is that where we would have been sitting if we had been able to get on the ship?
No,
If
you would
it
have been
wasn't COVID?
in the back row there, in the same row with Taylor Ann.
Okay. So explain to me, what does the fishbowl room do? I'm sorry, I don't understand.
So we do ship-to-shore interactions, which means
Oh, right.
off of SPL in the normal Nautilus live video feed. Sometimes it's with a group of scientists, and sometimes it's with a classroom. So someone can sit in there, and a typical year it would be our science communication fellow, and they would give a presentation, and that would be the view that the school children have as they watch from their classroom.
Go for it.
Or from home this year.
Mhm.
6.
And this year there's been fewer of those because you haven't brought on board the communication fellows.
That's correct.
Right. Okay.
And there would be a person in that frame, so there'd be a light on them, and you'd see their face all lit up, and then the view you see now would just be a background.
The real star is
Thank
all
you.
the monitors sitting in front of us right now.
Yes.
But that's a fancy step up from 2016 when it was just the porthole view from the downstairs studio.
Indeed,
Oh, right, yeah.
Indeed. And then
New this year.
if we really want to do an extreme close-up, we've got Cam Pilot here, where you can see Jake filling the frame. And in the back row, we have Cam Sai with a nice close-up of Taylor Ann.
Thankfully, I can hide in this mask. And my
But-
glasses. Incognito mode.
I like the purple OET gear.
It's part of our
It's
uniform.
nice. Yeah.
It's actually blue and just looks purple on the low light.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you for explaining that. I thought it really was purple.
I think the cameras must go into low light mode in here.
That was a good thing to do while we're sort of transiting over this sort of featureless sandy bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I could
Tom's
keep going.
identified a few more fish for us.
Yeah, we'll see. Seems like they were hanging down on that slope, but not really on this flat bit.
Yeah, there's been like one or two more flatfish, one little comb fish that Tom saw. I saw it go by as well, but it's, there seems to be the barrens between the cool rocks that we're headed to and the sandy slope down below.
Right. So maybe this would be a good time for one of you to maybe Steve go back to that shot of the line or the wire that holds onto that is attached to the Argus.
Sure.
Maybe one of you can explain the two ROV system, which I always think is fascinating.
Sure, I can do it. So we have the ship at the surface, and we have a heavy steel cable with fiber and power running through it, and that suspends a weight, and that weight is Argus. So we've got an ROV that's kind of just a pendulum, if you will, just kind of dangling back behind the ship. So Argus can move, can change its heading, and it can winch up and winch down, which changes its height or its depth. But to move Argus left and right across the plane, we need to move the ship. So that attached to Argus then is a lighter, more flexible tether that Hercules is on the other end of. So basically we can put Argus in different locations on the seafloor, and Herc has a kind of a free floating type, a freer way of exploring the seafloor without hindrance of any of the ship movements, because Argus is kind of absorbing that. But that being said, anywhere that we want to put Hercules, we have to put Argus nearby. The tether is about 35 meters long. So you can imagine if we've got a cliff face or something like that, we need to make sure we don't slam the boat into, or slam Argus into the side of the cliff with the boat. We got a target coming up straight ahead and
Roger. 20 meters?
Yeah, 20 meters out.
So who was narrating that? Was that you, Jake?
That was running.
Oh, Rennie. Okay. I can distinguish Dan's voice from Jake and Rennie. Steve, you're more quiet, and Taylor Ann, it's obvious when you're speaking.
What is this target gonna be? Pretty hard target. Either a rock or some big trash.
Anticipation.
That's great.
We're seeing it in the sonar?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yep. I see the sonar now.
Oh, there it is.
Is it the one dead ahead?
There's the rock.
The target that's lighting up the...
Yep.
Okay,
It was
let's
a rock.
check out this rock.
We're not on transect, are we?
No.
Nope.
Nope, we're not on transect.
Yeah,
Alright.
just
So I
stop
see
the ship.
some...
Roger that. We got one in the background as well, I think. Bridge now. Hold position. Thank you.
Little green striped rockfish there. Oh, there's one urchin on the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sign we might find some more urchins.
Did you want to collect here, Taylor Ann?
Oh, we can keep going. I don't want to take this only little guy.
Oh, okay.
Got some crinoids. And a basket star.
Is that some line there? What is that?
I think there's both grass and maybe that's line in the back. Can't tell. Or maybe just more grass.
Yeah. So those are
zoom in on
mostly
the
crinoids?
brown.
Zoom in on the brown, you're saying?
Yeah, you can zoom in there.
Yeah, the brown fluffy thing. I think it's just a crinoid, but
Yeah, it looks like a crinoid. Maybe.
yeah, it's a crinoid.
Looks like
Well-
there actually might be some line there.
Line, there's the salp hanging out
Oh,
back there.
salp.
Or a siphonophore or something.
It's a flatfish in the background there. Or not. So the Did you want to explore this a little bit, Meredith, or?
I'm looking for seeing if there's any. I see any cup corals on
Can
it. I
zoom in
don't,
there,
but
Steve.
we can.
Ooh, is that a siphonophore?
I think so.
It is a siphonophore.
That's the siphonophore is the sort of fluffy or gelatinous looking snake that has, looks like it's a bunch of black beans connected to each other.
Yep.
And this is a colonial organism.
Yep. It's a colonial cnidarian.
I guess not a line, it's organic.
And this is just something, they're typically more in the water column.
Yeah, this one is just kind of
Floating
falling out
around.
and looks like it got
There's another urchin there.
tangled up here.
Yeah, I guess there are a few little urchins. Huh? I guess if we feel up to it, we could collect 2 of them. I saw 2 on this side. And that way that checks off the urchins off the list.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. Sure.
All right.
And whatever place is best for you all.
Yeah, they're really tiny, so they can fit wherever. They look very small.
Yeah. Probably want to come around, I think, to the other side of the rock, maybe.
There's 2 right there.
Can you grab it from here, you think?
Slurp, yeah. Yeah, you have to
I could
get
get a little closer.
Yeah.
Roger.
And Lizzie's saying we can grab sediment cores while we're stopped here as well.
Okay. And should we do the
Bring
bob method?
Bring your head
Get
to
2
the
at
left
once,
and move to the
Lizzie?
right.
Yep.
Are those too small for the slurp method?
Might be. Can you show me look at it with the camera? I can't function on bubble camera.
Current's really taking that tether.
I think we've got another little comb fish sitting there in the background.
Ooh, the siphonophore is lifting off.
You freed it from its entanglement on the bottom.
Yeah. Free at last.
Okay. Find a victim there.
So we're going to collect these urchins using the slurp, which, as it sounds, that's what it does.
Suction sampler is the.
Yes.
I can do that for you.
Oh, the suction sampler, excuse me.
No, we call it the slurp all the time, but it's.
Yeah, but I think thank you for giving me the.
Oh, 25% there.
25.
In this case,
So what you're
being used to
hearing
just-
them say is they're going to use 25% of the suction power?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. And these
that urchin's
urchins
hanging
are
on.
fragile, so they're not going to start off with 100%.
Bump it up a little more, maybe.
Looks like it. It's stuck in there. Trying not to suck him up in the.
Oh.
Got a snail.
Oh.
Okay, go back to 25.
Oop.
And we'll obviously have to put these in the front box there.
Yeah.
Those spines are longer than we think.
Okay, turn it off.
Nice.
There we go.
I'm gonna zoom in there for us, Steve.
Is it a hydroid, a feathery hydroid?
That's a polychaete worm.
Okay.
It looks like there
Right,
are a
that's
couple of
the-
small cup corals on this rock as well.
Oh, yeah.
Should we
Just
go
said the
ahead and do
warning.
it?
Yeah, I see it.
Just made it.
Okay, 25.
25.
So hold on like that.
Okay, so we should wait with the cup coral sampling because we need 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you go less than that?
Yeah, I'll go 5 lower. 20.
Maybe even less. Turn it off.
I don't think it.
Okay. Can open the ports there.
Back up.
That guy almost wound up in the sample jar.
Come on,
Where's
little
this?
guy. Yep.
Jeez. Brutal. Okay. And do you want to look at cup corals here? Did you see 'em?
They said I'm waiting to hear from Mary online, and we also do
Zoom
need
in,
to take
Steve.
2 cores.
Roger the
That
2
guy
cores.
up there?
It's one just above the feather duster worm,
Yeah, I see him.
and then there's all these little round white dots are all cup corals.
Are you seeing what Lizzie is saying, Meredith?
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye.
Yeah.
Okay. See what they say. This should just be the start of the rocks. We should be getting into an area where there may be more.
I think I'm going to have to get a little closer for that one.
Well,
Think? No?
all right. Can zoom right in on the rock there while we're getting this guy out. We're meant to do push core, right?
Oh, push core. I thought we were going to sample.
What was the sample number on the urchins?
081.
Thank you.
We're going to have to switch to the salvo layout. I can't quite make it out from here.
Got it. Sample.
Samples, yeah. painful with these jaws. Okay,
Dive.
zoom out and look out into the, you can leave it on the sample, so
Alright. Going back to sample.
we might have to get back into the box quickly. So. Pan up and to the right a bit. That's good. So 2 of these guys, right?
Yeah, I believe so. 2 sediment cores, right, scientists?
Roger that.
Taylor, Ann, are you going to have these as one sample number? Or
No, so I guess with sediment cores only, unlike Niskins, if we're taking 2, they're going to be 2 different sample numbers.
Roger.
How much down you got on it? Oh, how much vert
Oh,
do you
on
have
my
on
vert?
it?
I can go a little more.
Yeah, let's pin it a little harder before I do that. I should do it. Guys happy to go here?
Yeah, looks good.
Stand by, I'm just going to make an adjustment on this manipulator.
After we're finished with the sediment cores, they would like to get 1 or 2 of the cup corals off of this rock.
Copy. Pretty hard there.
It's going in pretty deep.
Yeah, but I had to lift the sub up to do it. Full power.
Power to the hour.
Really. Those quivers aren't getting as clean as they should be. Still debris in there from the last one.
Thanks for shaking them out. Because it will just